Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my post-game recap of the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the stats. Now, with the Seahawks, we got Russell Wilson, 32 passes, 20 completed, 225 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Now, honestly, did very well, but a decent for Russell Wilson. As, of course, it was mostly defense that's really won us the game. Surprisingly, it was the defense who won us the game. Because honestly, our defense is trash most of the year. But then we get on to the rushing game where Carson had 16 carries for 69 yards. And Russell had 3 carries, 9 yards, and he was the only one to score a rushing touchdown. So he scored a rushing and passing touchdown. Now, when it came to Rashad Penny, who was recently activated, I think it was last week, 3 carries for 9 yards, and then you got Carlos Hyde with 2 carries for 8 yards. Now, when it comes to the rushing game, we're doing fine. As long as we keep giving Carson or Hyde the ball, I think we're good. That's what we need to do when it comes to the rushing game. You want to run it? Okay, good. Run it with Carson. Run it with Hyde. And then you can sprinkle in a bit of Rashad Penny, DJ Dallas, and all that. But as far as I can see, we're doing fine in the run game. Now, when it comes to receiving game, we got DK Metcalf with 8 targets, 6 receptions, 59 yards. David Moore, only 1 catch and 45 yards. 5 targets and 3 receptions for Tyler Lockett, 44 yards. And we get Carlos Hyde with 1 reception for 18 yards. Then Jacob Hollister, 6 targets, 2 receptions, 17 yards, and the only touchdown receiving of the game. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 17 yards, and no touchdowns. Greg Olsen, 2 targets, 1 reception, 15 yards, no touchdowns. Chris Carson, 3 targets, 3 receptions, and 10 yards. Honestly, we're doing fine. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and David Moore are the top receivers of Seattle, and they'll continue to be if we keep doing our job. Honestly, if the receiver is doing their job, if our runners are doing their job, if all our guys are doing their job, that is all we need to do. That is all we need to do. Offensively, Seattle did good on the offense. Now let's get on to the defense. And on defense, we got Jordan Brooks, 7 tackles, 1 assist, and 1 tackle for loss. Jamal Adams, 6 tackles, 2 assists, and that was it. Bobby Wagner, 5 tackles, 1 assist. Shaquille Griffin, 5 tackles, 2 assists, and 1 tackle for loss. For Quandre Diggs, 4 tackles, 2 assists, and an interception. And then you get to Ugo Amadi with 4 tackles. Then you get linebacker KJ Wright, 3 tackles, 4 assists. Defensive tackle Jaron Reed, 3 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackle for losses. DJ Reed, 3 tackles, 5 assists. Then Poona Ford, 2 tackles. Then you get to Benson Mayowa, 1 tackle, 1 tackle for loss. Then Rasheem Green, 1 tackle. LJ Collier, 1 tackle as well. Then you get Alton Robinson with 1 tackle, 1 assist, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Then you get Demontre Moore, no stats that I can see. And then you get defensive tackle Brian Moan with 2 assists. And then Cody Barton with absolutely no stats that I've seen. Honestly, Seattle's defense did incredible this game. That is what we need to do. We need to keep them to scores like 9. They were only kicking field goals. They only kicked field goals in this game. That's what Seattle needs to keep on doing for the rest of the year. And when I say rest of the year, I'm not talking about week 17. We can lose all we want in week 17. We're still in the playoffs as a home team. And then we go to the playoffs. If we don't win there, it's over there. And we need to keep this defense for the playoffs. This defense needs to keep the offense at minimum 10 points so then we can win. Honestly, if Seattle only gets them 10 points or less and then we score 2 touchdowns, it's over. It doesn't matter how much we win, it matters how we win. And I always say, defense wins championships. How did we win Super Bowl 48? With defense. How did the Patriots beat us in the Super Bowl? They beat us because they used their defense. We, of course, should have ran it, but I honestly think that either way, their defensive back, Malcolm Butler, still did the play he needed to do, intercepted it, and honestly, it was over. It was over. But this is the thing. Defenses win championships. Super Bowl 50, Denver won, and MVP was Von Miller. Honestly, you can't say that defenses don't win championships. It's proven that it does. Because even if an offense scores like 55 points like San Francisco did to John Elway, I honestly think that regardless, their defense didn't allow John Elway more than 10 points. So that's what defenses do. Defenses win championships. If the offense scores at the end of the game to win it, then that's a different thing. But majority of the Super Bowl wins or big time wins are because defenses won it for their team, not the offense. But I'm not saying the offense is terrible and shouldn't be accounted. Of course, you have to use your offense. You have to use strategy. And honestly, strategy when it comes to offense, you keep scoring points and then you go back to defense, keep stopping them. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Now let's get on to the Los Angeles Rams. Jared Goff, 43 passes, 24 of them being completed, 234 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. That pick being from Quandre Diggs. Now, we get Goff, a guy who honestly could be an amazing quarterback. But the situations Goff needs to be in is more of a protect me and have a good run game. That's the kind of quarterback that Goff is. He needs a good run game and definitely a good offensive line. Because honestly, even players like Russell Wilson, who are mobile, have to run. And even Tom Brady has to run if he doesn't have an offensive line. And to be honest, I don't think they want him to run. I think that he should be passing the football. But he can run if necessary. But I would rather have the quarterback passing the ball rather than running because of injury, of course. Now, when it comes to the rushing game, we got Darrell Henderson, 12 carries for 62 yards. Malcolm Brown, 7 carries for 27 yards. 7 carries and 23 yards for Jared Goff. 1 carry and 5 yards for Josh Reynolds. Robert Woods, 2 carries for 1 yard. Now, rushing, they did fine as well. Honestly, almost got honestly, I could say that they did better than Seattle because they got 3 players over 20 yards. And honestly, even though you get so many yards, if you don't get the touchdowns, it really won't matter. But they did well as well on the rushing game. And honestly, they're doing very well in the rushing game. But Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson, some great running backs. Now, when we go to the receiving game, 9 targets, 8 receptions for 66 yards for Cooper Kupp. Josh Reynolds getting 10 targets, 6 receptions, 65 yards, no touchdowns. Robert Woods, 9 targets, 4 receptions, 48 yards. Tyler Higbee, 6 targets for 3 receptions for 34 yards. Then we go Gerald Everett, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 13 yards. Malcolm Brown getting 3 targets, 1 reception, and 8 yards. 3 targets, 1 reception, and 8 yards for Malcolm Brown. And then we get to Van Jefferson with 1 target and no receptions, honestly. When it comes to the receiving game, I think they have also done well when it comes to yardage. But if you don't get the score, it really doesn't matter how many yards you get. You can possibly just use that like, hey, look how many yards I get in a game. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you don't score, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, it only matters to be the top wide receiver of your... To be honest, those stats are mostly just for, oh, I'm the best in this position. But is your team in the playoffs? Oh, it's because you didn't score. You just got yards. Like, yeah, that's how it is. That's how it works. And to be honest, the Los Angeles Rams, they need to honestly work harder on scoring. Because honestly, back in week 10, when they whooped us, honestly, they were playing like they should have this game. Because honestly, this game was mostly for the division. If Seattle wins, it's the division title. If LA wins, it's still going to be going to week 17. Honestly, that's the division title. Just like Seattle did win. They won 20-9. And to be honest, very good for both teams. Honestly, very good game for both teams, but LA has to improve. Now let's get on to the Los Angeles Rams' defense. Now, Troy Reader got 6 tackles, 5 assists. Then you get Leonard Floyd with 5 tackles, 2 assists, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss. Then you get John Johnson, 5 tackles, 1 assist. 5 tackles, 2 assists for Jordan Fuller. 4 tackles, 2 assists for Darius Williams. Michael Brockers, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Sebastian Joseph Day with 2 tackles, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. And then you get Aaron Donald. Honestly, didn't do that well today, but 1 tackle, 1 assist, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Jalen Ramsey didn't quiet anyone in this game. 1 tackle only. Then you get Kenny Young, 1 tackle, 2 assists. Then you get Justin Hollins, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Then Greg Haynes, 1 tackle, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Then you get Nick Scott with 1 tackle. Then you get 0 tackles for all these players I'm about to name: Troy Hill, Ashawn Robinson, Samson Ibukam, and Terrell Lewis. Troy Hill having only 3 assists. Robinson having 2 assists. Samson having 1 assist. And Terrell Lewis having 2. Honestly, very good defense. But is it good defense? I'm saying good defense for the stats. Their stats is good. They allowed 20 points on them. And honestly, that is something that should not have happened for the Los Angeles Rams defense. The Seahawks offense, I know they're very good, but the Seahawks defense, honestly, I don't know how they beat the Los Angeles Rams. But when it comes to the defense of Los Angeles Rams, they have gone down. They honestly allowed 23 points last week to the Jets. And then they go on and lose 20-9 against the Seahawks. I'm seeing here that the LA defense is actually getting worse by the day. So honestly, they did well statistically, but they didn't do well when it came to actual defense, not allowing points. Now, my conclusion for this game is we are NFC West champions. Congratulations, Seahawk Nation. Congratulations to the 12th man. Go Hawks. We are the NFC West champions, and prepare yourselves because we are having a home field advantage in the wild card and a possible home field advantage in the divisional round, if depending on who's ahead of us and who's below us of the winners of the wild card. But as far as I can see, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, they might get past round 1, but then they won't get past round 2. I don't think that they'll get past round 2, but if they do, they're finished in the NFC Championship game. New Orleans, Green Bay, all these teams, they're going to destroy Seattle in the NFC Championship game. But I'm still holding out hope that the Seahawks offense and the Seahawks defense could not only defeat these teams, but could also make Super Bowl 55 and win our second Lombardi since Super Bowl 48. Honestly, it has been a long time since we held up that Lombardi trophy, and I think Seattle Seahawks fans should at least have hope because we are in the playoffs, we are division champions, and we could possibly make the Super Bowl again. If we do, we're most likely going to lose if it's Kansas City. I have no hope if it's Kansas City against us. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also, tell me down in the comments below, what do you think about this game? Who is your favorite player? Who's your favorite team? Whether you're a Seahawks fan or an LA Rams fan, tell me down in the comments below what fan of what team in the NFL you are. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.